6 years ago, we looked at what turned out to be one of the best general and macro photography. In fact, the first actual macro lens from Fujifilm. And yeah, a lot has happened. 6 years is a long time in the tech world, unfortunately. So I thought I'd take this XF 80mm that's shooting right now on the T5 on a little road trip and see how I feel about it now. So yeah, let's see how we got on. But first, we're going to look at it up close. Then we'll get out there and yeah, a few new sites that I haven't shot with the Fujifilm system. So yeah, a bit of fun, and we managed to dodge the dodgy weather. Anyway, let's crack on. All right, so there we go. Yeah, it's basically as I remember it. Good chunk of a lens. Aperture ring. And feels pretty good actually. 2.8. It's definitely discolored, this one, which a lot of us long-time Fujifilm owners have noticed on these lenses. Anyway, OIS on off. I must say the discoloration hasn't happened on the lenses I own, so I don't know if that depends on your environment. But there you go. We do have a focus limiter from the 25 centimeters to 0.5. Very handy. Forgot about that. 0.5 to infinity and the full. That is very interesting. Definitely forgot about that limit of limiter switch. Very cool. So obviously, for this to be an actual macro lens, I think it was Fujifilm's first actual macro lens. It's a 1-time magnification ratio. Now we do have weather resistance. Yeah, again on the T5, not necessarily, you know, the ideal, but perfectly fine. We're going to see how it plays out and about. I want to go and get street details and stuff like that, but we'll see what the weather allows me to do. I don't want to go too wild. I just want to see how it fares all these years down the line. It still feels absolutely quality, and even though this is a rather used copy, it's been around the higher system for quite a while. Gotta say thanks to Fujifilm for loaning me this. They won't see what I'm saying, but you guys know I love the gear, but we want to see if the love is still the same after all this time. Remember, we've got 122mm full frame equivalent, which for me is fun for a bit of street stuff, maybe even a bit of portraiture as we saw before. We've got a 20.1 degree angle of view, 16 elements, 12 groups, 9 diaphragm blades, and it weighs 750 grams, I believe. Quite happy, and I'd forgotten that it takes a 62mm filter thread. So yeah, pretty good. I mean, that overall package, once you get this huge plasticky hood on, it is a beast. But if it's anything like how it was when I first tried it, we're gonna have a bit of fun. Let's be honest, it's not the most ideal lens for shooting around and about in tourist mode because of that size and the weight, and it didn't help that I left my strap at home the particular day I was getting test shots, but the OIS really helped me out, and the autofocus on the T5 didn't let me down. Now, I do enjoy shooting with this lens, but for balance, if I'm being picky and not even out and about, the AF is a bit noisy, which, you know, doesn't really matter with this lens, but there you go. Manual focus, it's a bit of a weak point too, and for macro, it's a little bit disappointing. But, you know, all said and done, after all these years, the lens still handles really well and is built to last. as the 6 years that this lens has currently got, you know, after being in who knows how many hands. It testifies, I'm getting mixed up with Spanish. Yeah, goes to show these things are built to last. Yeah, I know what I mean. Let us know if you've seen the same, because yeah, it's standing up well. When it comes to image quality, I'm really not seeing much to complain about. Sure, the bokeh isn't the best for foliage, but I'm still seeing very nice results with the smoother textures and the specular highlights. Sharpness is spot on until the latter end of the aperture range, and results are excellent both in general shooting and macro photography. Yes, there's a touch of vignetting wide open, and if you go looking hard, you can find some purple fringing at a push, but really the image quality is still near the top end of the X series range, and it stands up really well alongside the latest line of lenses from Fujifilm. As always, is it worth it then? Well, yeah, $10.99 new might make it a purchase for a specialized few, but used it's going for $673, which opens it up to a wider market. And honestly, until recently, it wasn't bad. I just actually saw a copy going for £600 on a UK forum, so very decent considering the range of photography you can shoot with this lens. The longevity offers, it's not a bad price at all. These newer sensors are really bringing, well, there's newer than this, but you know what I mean, really bringing extra life to the older lenses that we're testing. And in some instances, the cameras are only just catching up to the full potential of the lenses, and I'm all for that. This lens was announced in what, September 2017. Over 6 years later, it's still a winner.